Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Rosa. Great to be back again.
We're so happy you've joined us today. How are you doing, Rosa?
I'm doing great, Sam. Feeling quite energetic today. And you?
I'm feeling good too. Today, we have a really interesting topic, I think. It's something we all do, every single day. We're talking about daily routines, what we do from the moment we wake up until we go to bed. You know, our habits.
Exactly. And having a good routine can really make a big difference in how we feel and how productive we are.
So, let's dive in. Let's talk about our mornings first. The start of the day is so important, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. Our mornings affect the rest of the day. A good morning usually means a good day.
I agree. For me, I try to wake up around 6 or 6:30 a.m., and the first thing I try not to do is check my phone.
Oh, that's a big one. So many people grab their phones first thing. I'm trying to do the same, Sam. I keep my phone away from my bed. It helps me start the day more calmly, more intentionally.
So, what's the first thing you do after waking up, if not checking your phone?
Well, I like to do some gentle stretches while I'm still in bed. Nothing too difficult, just waking up my body slowly. How about you, Sam?
I get out of bed, and the first thing I do is go to the bathroom and splash some cold water on my face. It really wakes me up. Then, I drink a big glass of water, sometimes with a little lemon. It's good for hydration.
Hydration is about getting enough water into your body. Very important. I drink water too. It feels like a reset, a fresh start.
Definitely. After that, within the first hour, I try to do some light movement. Sometimes it's a short exercise, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Other days, just some more stretching.
Me too. I also love a bit of morning yoga, or sometimes I just do some deep breathing exercises. I also enjoy starting my day with some stretching. It helps me wake up and feel ready for the day.
That's good. It prepares you for the day, both physically and mentally. It aligns with the goal of having a focused day.
Exactly. And then breakfast. My favorite part of the morning.
Mine, too. What's a typical breakfast for you, Rosa?
I like to have something balanced. Oatmeal with fresh fruits is a common one for me. Or sometimes eggs with toast. And I often listen to something while I eat. Maybe some calm music or an interesting podcast.
That's a great idea. Feeding your mind as well as your body. I often have oatmeal too, or maybe avocado toast. And like you, I enjoy listening to something. Sometimes it's news, or even a short TED Talk. The goal is some positivity, or to learn something new.
Yes, sometimes news might be very important. You don't know what will happen suddenly.
Absolutely, Rosa. That's why listening section is very important for me sometimes. Okay, so after breakfast, what's next? How do you set up for productivity?
This is where planning comes in. I like to make a to-do list for the day. I usually write down the most important tasks I need to complete. It helps me stay focused.
I do the same. I use a digital planner, but a good old notebook works too. I look at my goals for the day. And even if I'm working from home, getting dressed properly, not staying in pajamas, really boosts my mood. It makes me feel more ready for the day.
I completely agree. It's a small thing, but it makes a difference. It signals to your brain that it's time to be active and productive.
Okay, so we've started our day well. But what about later, like midday? Sometimes energy levels can drop.
Oh, yes, the afternoon. I definitely experience that sometimes. For me, taking a short walk is really helpful. just 10 to 15 minutes outside if possible, or even just moving around the house or office, doing a small physical activity.
That's a good strategy. I try something called the Pomodoro Technique. Have you heard of it?
I think so. Can you explain it?
Sure. You work for 25 minutes with full focus, and then you take a 5-minute break. After 4 Pomodoros, you take a longer break, maybe 15 to 30 minutes. It helps me stay focused and avoid burnout.
That sounds very structured. I like the idea of short breaks. It's important not to try and work for hours and hours without stopping. I find that helpful too, so I don't feel overwhelmed.
Yes, focusing on a few key tasks is much better than having a huge list that feels impossible. And what about lunch, Rosa? Do you have any tips for keeping energy levels up?
I try to have a light lunch, maybe a salad or a wrap or some soup. Heavy meals can make you feel sleepy and sluggish.
Good advice. Now, let's talk about the late afternoon. Say, around 3 or 4 p.m. How do you refocus or manage your tasks then?
Around that time, I like to check my progress. I look at my to-do list again. It helps me see what I've accomplished and what still needs to be done.
That's important. It's not about trying to cram everything in at the last minute, but about finishing the important things with intention. Sometimes, if my energy is low in the late afternoon, I listen to some upbeat music to give me a little boost.
Music is a great tool for that. Or sometimes I set a timer for a short, focused work period to finish a specific task. It's like a mini Pomodoro.
Nice. So, the workday or study day is coming to an end. How do you transition into your evening routine?
Absolutely. I try to have a clear end to my workday. Maybe I'll go for another short walk or do a quick house chore like tidying up the kitchen. Something to signal that work is done. It helps me to wind down.
That makes sense. And what about dinner?
Dinner is important, and I try to eat it away from screens. No TV, no phone. This is good for digestion and also for being present, for enjoying the food, and maybe talking with family or friends if they are there.
Screen-free dinner. I like that. It's a good habit. After dinner, what do you do to relax or enjoy your evening?
I like to use this time for usual things or hobbies. Maybe I'll do some sketching or read a book. Sometimes, I call a friend or family member to connect with them. It's about doing things that make me feel good and relaxed. What about you, Sam?
Very similar. I love reading. Or sometimes I'll work on a personal project, something I'm passionate about. It's nice to have that time for yourself, to recharge your batteries.
It really is. And that leads us to the night routine, preparing for sleep. This is just as important as the morning routine, I think.
Definitely. A good night routine helps you get better sleep, which means you wake up feeling more energized the next day.
So, what does your night routine look like? When do you start?
I usually start winding down around 9 p.m. I try to dim the lights in my apartment. This signals to my body that it's time to prepare for sleep. And, importantly, I put my phone away. No social media scrolling before bed.
That's crucial. The blue light from screens can make it harder to sleep. I also avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. I might have a warm shower, which is very relaxing.
A warm shower is great. I also like to do a bit of journaling. I might write down a few things that happened during the day, or sometimes I list 3 things I'm grateful for.
Journaling is a wonderful practice. It helps you focus on the positive things in your life. I do that sometimes too. And another thing I do is lay out my clothes for the next day.
Oh, that's a smart tip. Why do you do that?
It just makes the morning smoother and less stressful. I don't have to think about what to wear when I'm still half asleep. It's one less decision to make in the morning.
That's a very practical idea. I should try that.
And it makes waking up the next morning easier and more pleasant. It's all connected like a cycle.
It really is. So, to summarize for our listeners, having a daily routine with intentional actions in the morning, managing energy during the day, and winding down properly in the evening can really improve our well-being.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be complicated. Small changes can make a big difference. Start with one or two things, like not checking your phone first thing, or drinking a glass of water when you wake up. And remember, everyone's perfect routine might be a little different. The key is to find what works for you, what makes you feel good, and helps you achieve your goals.
Absolutely. Well, Rosa, this has been a fantastic discussion. I've got some new ideas for my own routine.
Me too, Sam. It's always good to share and learn from each other. And hopefully, our listeners found it helpful too.
We hope so. Thank you all for tuning in to Simply Explained English. We encourage you to think about your own daily routines. What's one small change you could make this week?
A great question to end on. Take care and keep practicing your English.
Bye for now.
It was a nice podcast about daily routines, Eric.
Yes, Lisa, everybody has different routines.